Hi everyone, Nick Kratikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and tonight you're watching me on Bowdabra, and we're going to be making lots of different bows, as well as a little wreath. So we have our large Bowdabra today, and this is my favorite one. I actually just got the smaller one. Bowdabra sent it to me, and I'm really excited about using that. I just need to practice with it because I haven't used it before, but we're going to be working with our Bowdabra wire as well. And this is a 100-yard spool that you guys can order in gold as well as silver. So as you guys come in, let me know where you're watching from. And also be sure to say hi to my dad. My dad is down here recording for me tonight. So let's all say thank you, Dad, because he's been a rock star over the last week helping me out with all of these different videos I've been filming lately.
Hi, everybody.
So what I've done is I've just cut a length of our wire. Truly, the longer you can cut it, the better, because you never know exactly how much of this length you're going to need. So if you end up ruining a little bit or cutting excess off, it's a 100-yard spool, so it lasts a really long time. So all I did is I put it in the slit on the top, right across, and then we can start creating our bows. So the first bow I'm going to create is going to be a double ribbon bow. You guys have been asking about that lately. So we're going to be using this red as well as this green and kind of creating a pretty bow. So also, if you guys don't mind giving this video a like as well as a share, I would greatly appreciate it. But to start off with, I'm just going to cut a length for our tails. And as you can see, I like to cut them rather long. I really like the look of long tails cascading down below my wreath, my swag, my garland, whatever we're designing with. I like the really long tails. So we'll cut one of the red and one of the green. Doesn't have to be exact lengths. And you don't have to measure it to see if they're even on either side either. So all we're going to do is take our two pieces of ribbon and place them into our Bowdabra like that. Very easy. Now what I like to do personally is I like to just drop my ribbon to the ground. It kind of makes it easier, you guys. So if you haven't dropped your ribbon to the ground, I recommend doing it like that. Now we can take our two ribbons, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one and place it on top of the other. Doesn't matter which one you start with, which one's on top or which one's on the bottom. It really doesn't make a huge difference. But now what we can do is take our two ribbons that we just put one on top of another and place it into our Bowdabra. Notice that I have a little bit of leverage in case, we kind of pull it, it's not going to fall apart. So always leave about ½ an inch of an overhang on either side. Now we can start creating our loops. So Bowdabra is also going to be giving away a free roll of scrunchy ribbon today. So comment down below that you'd like to win, and you could be our lucky winner for the night. So you must stick around the final 5 minutes. We will be drawing the winner. But another important step is to take your ribbon and twist it completely backwards so that you have the side that's not usually on top facing the top. And that just provides some tension into your bows. So hands up if you guys like bows. I certainly do. I don't think they're necessary for every project, but I do really like making them. And if you guys haven't made a bow before, once you kind of perfect it and really make a beautiful bow, it's very addicting. It's kind of impossible to stop.
Hi, Pamela from Florida, Jillian from Ireland. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome, you guys. Yeah, drop a comment. If you've been a ghost watcher, we would love to meet you, so please introduce yourself. So we'll just continuing to do this. But one thing you guys got to keep in mind is even though we have one loop like this, you got to consider that each one of these loops is actually two. So when we go to separate it, be mindful of that. If you don't want to use a lot of loops, be cautious as to how many loops you create, because for every one loop you see, it's actually two. So here we have 3 loops on either side at this point. So in all actuality, we have how many, Dad?
6.
6, that's right. 6 loops. So we'll create maybe 1 or 2 more on either side just to really create a nice full bow. And this is going to be our final. So we have 4 on either side with a total of 8. And 8 loops should be more than enough for a bow this size. And then we can just place it. Again, I have a little bit of an overhang in case our bow falls apart. Now what we can do is compress it. I just like to use my hands for that, you guys. But the Bowdabra does come with a wand that you guys can place inside and compress your ribbons. But now we're going to take our wires from one side to the other. Doesn't matter which way you bring them. Since we folded our wire in half, there's going to be a loop on one side. We're just going to take our wires, pull them through that loop, or vice versa. Give them a good tug, and then we can take our bow out. So we got to be careful with taking it out because our bow isn't actually secured. So we do have to make sure that we tie it a couple times. And I like to give it between 2 or 3 knots just to really make sure that our bow's not going to fall off or fall apart. So let us know how you guys are doing today. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. Dad would be more than happy to ask me, or since Dad's gotten the hang of it, he could potentially answer some questions. He's smiling. He knows what he's talking about by now. So now what we're going to do is, before we separate those original loops, we're just going to pull apart the, two loops together separate first, like that. So I think that kind of looks pretty by having kind of a dual tone ribbon. But now what we're going to do is actually open it up so you can actually see both of the loops that we've added. So I'm just going to pull them apart.
Cheryl would like to know, Nick, if you have to keep twisting the Bowdabra. That's just your style, though, right?
That's my style. So you don't have to twist your Bowdabra. One thing with any tool in your shop, whether you're a designer with a business or you just like to design for fun, it doesn't make a difference. We all have tools in our shop, whether it be scissors. I get a lot of crap for using my scissors because I usually just grab them whichever way they're in my hands and cut. When this is actually probably supposed to be the way to cut, I just don't, care about it. But for your Bowdabra, you're going to have to figure out the best way to use it for yourself. So I like to twist mine around, but you can, of course, just twist your hands and kind of manipulate it that way. So we have one final loop left to pull apart. Then we can kind of lift it up to see if we are missing anything, if we didn't open up all the loops. And since it's wired ribbon, it holds its shape really nicely, so we don't have to worry about all of the loops kind of falling down and falling apart. Then we can pull our beautiful tails down. And what do you guys think of that? Isn't that pretty, Dad?
Very pretty.
I like that. So give a heart if you guys like that bow. Very simple, very easy, very quick. And double ribbon bows are really popular. We do a lot of these at Christmas time for good reason, because they're so beautiful. And you guys can do this with whatever color combo you'd like and whatever size ribbon. So this is 1.5 inch. You could easily do this technique with 2.5 inch ribbon. I'd recommend maybe 1 or 2 less loops. You could do a combination of 1.5 and 2.5. You could do 1 inch, 2.5 inch. You guys can mix it up and use more ribbons if you would like, but a very, very, very nice technique. But now we'll come back into our Bowdabra and place another piece of wire. So also be sure to join Bowdabra's design team. They have a design page. They have a design page on Facebook that you guys can, get other ideas from and just see a bunch of bows, I guess, because, who doesn't love bows? So we just placed our wire again into our Bowdabra, and this week, what I thought we would do is kind of something completely different. See the width of that ribbon, Dad? How narrow is that? This is 5/8 inch ribbon, both of them, and they were wired as well, so they have a nice hold for such a narrow ribbon, and we'll create a bow using both of these.
I didn't know they had wired ribbon that small.
Yeah, it's something that hasn't been around for too long. I feel like it's relatively new. But we're going to be using this 5/8 inch red and then 5/8 inch, that's not how you say it, 5/8 inch emerald green and red as well. So I really like those two ribbons together. And of course, like I said before, you guys can be using whatever ribbons you would like.
Dawn would like to know if you could do more than 2.
You certainly can. Oh, sorry about that, you guys. I see that we have almost 600 people watching. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Be sure to say hi, and also be sure to comment down below that you'd like to win, because like I said before, Bowdabra is giving away a free roll of ribbon, so we can just cut it outside of the Bowdabra and use our Bowdabra as an extra hand, especially for small ribbon like this. It can kind of get difficult to hold after a while.
Would you dovetail the ends or leave them straight, Nick?
For these ones?
On anyone, on any bow, yeah.
For most of my bows, I like to dovetail. For this, you still can kind of see a dovetail, which is kind of cool. If you dovetail this ribbon, but it's not necessary. It's either you cut it at an angle or you dovetail it, but you never want just a blunt edge because it does look awkward and doesn't look, finished in my eyes. So we'll just continue adding more loops. I see that we've surpassed 600 people now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We greatly appreciate it. All right, so with this ribbon, you want to keep in mind that it's so narrow that it's actually going to take more ribbon than you might anticipate. So if we added 4 loops of 1 ribbon, 2.5 inch ribbon to a bow, I'd recommend either like doubling this ribbon because it's so thin. You want to make sure you have still a nice decent bow. So I'll just continue alternating. And another option you have too is you can actually take your ribbon, place it into your Bowdabra, create your loop, and then cut it off. So there's so many different ways of using your Bowdabra, and you're just gonna have to figure out what way works best for you. So this way has been, very effective for me, but you might have to kind of shift things around a little bit to get the Bowdabra to your liking.
Tammy Singletary says, love all your crafts.
Thank you, Tammy.
And everybody wants to win. That's awesome.
Awesome. So Bowdabra does a giveaway every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Either Bowdabra's live, myself is live at 7 p.m., but no matter what, they do a giveaway for a free roll of ribbon. So let's just do one more loop just for the fun of it. How's that sound? All right, so our final loop. Now what we can do is, again, compress our ribbon, take our wire from one side to the other, just pulling it through the little slit in the top, pulling the two ends through the loop, giving it a good tug. It's not secure yet, you guys, so now what we got to do is take our wire, bring it to one side or the other, doesn't make a difference, and secure by wrapping it into a knot several times. Almost 650 people. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And we will also be live on Nick's Seasonal Decor tonight. We have Alex. You guys know Alex by now, my sister. She will be joining us tonight. She has work off today. So it's been a little bit, it's been a decent amount of time since she's been in a video, I feel like. I couldn't tell you, though. It's all a blur. So now
they've been working her daily.
She has been working daily, that's for sure. So we're just fluffing it. Again, since it's wired ribbon, it has a nice hold to it. And I think this texture looks really cool. Kind of looks like spiders to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The little legs, like a daddy long leg. So this would be pretty on a present. So imagine that's a present. With this shape, it'd be more than likely one of those popcorn tins that you get at Christmas. And just place that right on top, and then it'd make a great gift. So whether you're, your friend or family member receives the gift, if they love it or if they hate it, doesn't make a difference because you still went the extra effort and made a nice bow for it. So there we have a 5/8 inch ribbon, almost 600 people. Thank you guys. Connie says, every time I watch your videos, it makes me want to go and make all kinds of wreaths. So Connie, what I would like to say to that is I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know once you start, it's hard
addicting
to stop. I'm very aware of that, but I mean, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Let's create another bow, cut another length of our wire. Like I said, I usually cut them longer just in case I want to attach them to something else. Place our wire underneath. And here we have a 1.5 inch gold ribbon. Isn't that a pretty ribbon?
Very pretty. Mary would like to know where you can buy the Bowdabra.
You can buy the Bowdabra from Michael's. You guys can be picking up them up from Hobby Lobby. And you can also be picking up your Bowdabra from Amazon as well as Bowdabra's website. All right, so we have our tails. Now let's do a traditional bow, because I think gold is such a traditional color that it would just look best if we did a traditional bow with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this ribbon, place it into our Bowdabra, and this is when you can start creating your loops without moving your Bowdabra. But I'm different. I like to move my Bowdabra instead of moving my hands. It seems to work a little bit easier for me, but you might feel more comfortable moving your hands instead of your Bowdabra.
I think for me as a novice, I've only made two bows in my life. I think I would probably twist a Bowdabra because I'd get mixed up if I was doing it all by hand.
Yeah, so I twist my Bowdabra instead of twisting my hand. It makes more sense to me. What gauge of wire do you use? I'm not sure of the gauge on this wire, but this is the Bowdabra wire we're using today.
Bowdabra wire, 100-yard spools. It comes in gold and silver, I believe, right?
Yep. Look at you, you little spokesman. So Pamela asked, can you talk a little bit more about fluffing? So Pamela, that's a great question, and it's something that I truly believe to be one of the most important steps with bow making. And I'll show you guys how to fluff this. But with fluffing in mind for me, what I like to do is make sure there's no kinks or creases in my ribbon. So I run my fingers through my tails and my loops to get any of those little creases out so it looks the best. And, just kind of give it an overall fluff so it looks like a beautiful bow. Since it's wired ribbon, you can manipulate it very easily. Let's do 1 or 2 more loops. Make it a nice full bow. Snip off our ribbon. Compress it, take our wires, bring them from one side to the other. And also, you guys, you got to keep in mind that I've been making bows for years and years now. I've actually been making bows before I had my business page, really, because I used to make bows for my fresh wreaths. I still do every year. So, I've practiced it. If this is your first time making bows, don't expect the world. Practice definitely helps. And as long as you kind of understand the technique and understand fluffing, you'll have a beautiful bow. Just takes time, you guys. So now what we're going to do is fluff them by opening them up like this. Very easy. So Pamela, all I'm doing is I'm just separating them, and see how some of it's a little bit creased. You can just run your fingers through it like this, open them up, make sure they're nice and poofy. 720 people, thank you all tonight for tuning in. Okay.
It's a pretty color.
Isn't that a pretty color? I'm not the world's biggest gold fan, both in jewelry and just the color itself, but I think this ribbon's really pretty, especially since it's so shiny, without any glitter, so I'm not making a mess down here, thankfully. Isn't that pretty? How simple was that, Dad?
It's very pretty, yeah.
Very simple.
Well, for you.
For me. All right, so we have 15 minutes left. Hands up right now if you guys want to see us make a little wreath. So what I was thinking for this wreath is we would actually use a ribbon I designed with last night on a live on my business page, and it's this 1.5-inch rust orange with kind of white polka dots, and I thought it was just beautiful, so we're going to use that today. So what we're going to start off doing is adding some tails. We'll cut our wire, so we'll cut a nice long piece of wire, place it into our Bowdabra. Now we can create some tails. This tail's about 30 inches or so, about 18 inches on either side, so about 36 inches or so. Now we can start creating our bow itself. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to do a funky bow. So to show you guys how to do that, all we're going to do is create one loop, create one set of tails, and place it into our Bowdabra. So our Bowdabra acts as a third hand, keeping everything secured without us having to use our hands to hold it. And then we can just repeat that process over and over again until we have as many loops as we would like. So it totally depends on what you're trying to go for. If you're trying to go for a super full bow, add more loops. If you're trying to go for something a little subtle that you can tuck in some greenery and some flowers into, just use less loops. So we have enough for one more after this. I'm going to take this one and place it in like that. And this one, we can place just an extra loop. Might as well. What are we going to save it for, right, Dad?
That's right. Use what you can.
Use what you can. Use what you have.
Waste not, what not.
Exactly. So there we've placed our extra loop into our Bowdabra. Now what we're going to do is, again, compress our ribbon, take our wires, bring them from one side to the other, and pull tight. Now we got to create a knot, so I'm going to take one of those wires, bring it from the front to the back again, pull really tightly, and create a knot. So again, be sure to comment down below that you'd like to win. Bowdabra is giving away a free roll of scrunchy ribbon, and the color choices are red, silver, and gold. So let us know what color choice you like best.
What are you doing, Nick?
What?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm dovetailing.
Hey, you usually ask me.
I usually ask you. I forgot.
I'm reversing it tonight.
You are. Yep, I'm dovetailing. So dovetailing is just cutting your ribbon from the middle out towards the edge by folding it in half. So very simple, but I think it definitely enhances your bow. So this bow's not looking like much at this point, but now we're going to place it into our little wreath. This is a 14-inch grapevine wreath, and I see that we almost have 750 people. Thank you, guys. We're just going to take it and secure it into our wreath. So I'm just going to take our wire, feed it through our grapevine, poking it through, and securing. So we haven't fluffed it, so now we can just easily secure it into our wreath. What do you guys think of that rust orange? I think that's such a pretty color.
Burnt orange, rust orange.
Burnt orange, rust, yeah.
Very pretty.
I agree. I really like that color. All right, so now we can just fluff our bow open a little bit. We only have a certain amount of loops, you guys, but I'm not worried about that. We can always make everything work. So never forget that. There we have our bow on our wreath. Now we're going to come back in with some pip berries. And I really like the pip berries. I think they're fun to work with. I don't work with them a whole lot, but here we have our glue skillet. I get a lot of questions on that. It's just a pot that we melt our hot glue in, and it looks really clean. It looks like I kind of dig some stuff out while we were gone. So
it does look clean, yeah.
So we have some of these pip berries. I'm just going to dip them in our hot glue and work them in. Any questions?
Just say you want to win. That's how you enter.
Yep, just say you want to win, and you could be our lucky winner. Again, final 5 minutes of the show. Bowdabra will choose a winner, and then we can announce it. Just tucking in some of these pip berries. You know, you guys, we make big, beautiful wreaths. We make expensive wreaths. We make inexpensive wreaths. We make all sorts of designs, and there's no right or wrong way for designing. If you want simplicity and you just want something very basic for your home that you've made yourself and that you're proud of, by all means make it. You don't have to have a whole lot of product. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to have something beautiful for your home. So here we have more pip berries, and for these I'm just going to divide into smaller pieces and kind of work them in as well.
Deirdre, all you have to do is say, I want to win. That's how you enter.
Yep. All right. We have one little pip berry left. So this wreath cost us only a couple dollars for some ribbon, some leftover ribbon. Like I said, I used the rest of this roll last night, and a few pip berries. We can come back in with some greenery and kind of jazz it up more if we would like, but I'd rather get back to making some bows for you guys. So what we're going to do now is make another fall bow, and I've actually wanted to use this over the last several weeks. I've had it on my table during these lives, and since we make so many bows each Monday at 7 p.m., I only have so much time, so we're going to use it today. So I'm just going to take another length of our wire, place it into our Bowdabra. Welcome, Linda. I would love to win. Thank you for the opportunity. Of course.
What's the least amount of loops you've ever done to make a bow, Nick?
One.
One?
Yeah. You just use one loop and one tail sometimes. You know, I don't think ribbon has to be a big... Look at how pretty that
That's
ribbon
what they're pretty, yeah.
We don't have to have a big, beautiful bow for every design, and I'm a full believer in that, you guys. So let's do another traditional one, because I think this is going to turn out really pretty as a traditional bow. Especially... You know what? That's a lie. We're not going to do a traditional bow. Look at how long those tails are. That's going to be pretty.
Are you going to do a funky bow?
No, we're going to do a different bow. What we're going to do with this bow is do some loops. Oh, I love this ribbon. Do some loops on either side. We'll do 3 loops.
What's that, a 2.5 inch, Nick?
This is a 2.5 inch. Yep, a 2.5 inch ribbon, which is not my favorite. Let's see how well you guys know me. Dad should know the answer to this, so he's going to hold off on saying it. What's my favorite size of ribbon to work with? Let's see how well you guys know me, because you guys know me better than I know myself at this point. So comment down below if you guys know my favorite size of ribbon to work with. 781 people. Let's see if we can reach 1,000 tonight. That would be incredible. So we have 2 loops on either side. Again, I like to rotate my Bowdabra, but we're going to do 3 of these loops on either side. So that's our third.
That's an amazing ribbon.
It is. It's so beautiful. I'm a huge fan of copper at Christmas. I don't love glitter, but copper both for appliances and kind of bowls and bows and ribbons. I love the look of copper. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do over 800 people now, 805. Thank you, guys. What we're going to do now is create 2 slightly smaller loops on either side. And I don't really like giving measurements, you guys, because you're going to have to customize it for yourself. But as a guideline for this specific bow...
Everybody's saying 1.5 inch, Nick.
That's right, you guys. You know me. You know me. But for this specific bow, we're going to be doing about 3-inch loops for these 2 on either side. So we have about 5-inch, 3 on either side, 5-inch. We have 2 on either side that are about 3-inch, 2.5, 3-inch. And then we're going to do what I like to call a button loop right in the middle. So for the button loop, it's only going to be about 2.5 inches or so. Not really long. And this just finishes off our bow. So we'll place that in the middle, compress, grab our wires, bring it from one side to the other. So this time we grab the loop, not going to make a difference. Pull it, take it out of your Bowdabra, and bring it from one side to the other. And tie from behind. So very simple and very easy. Almost 900 people now. You guys are on a roll. All right. Pull those down. Now we can start separating our loops. So back to Pamela's question from probably 10 minutes ago. All we're doing is pulling them from one side to the other, getting any creases out, opening them up.
Congratulations to tonight's winner, Patty Groth.
Congratulations, Patty. So Patty, be sure to send Bowdabra a message letting them know what color you would like, whether it be red, silver, or gold, and they will send it your way. So congrats. And again, Bowdabra gives a roll of ribbon away every Monday at 7 p.m. Is there another Monday in September, or are we all done with September?
I'm not sure.
Me neither. All right. Pull your tails down. Look at that.
That's stunning.
Tell me that's not beautiful, you guys. Once I get it to my liking. So again, just constantly fluff, work your bows. Off camera, when I take pictures of my bows and designs, I actually spend a couple extra minutes making sure that they all look pristine. That's the whole goal, is to make sure your bows are perfect. And I think that is perfect. What do you guys think? Look at those long tails down below, too.
That's beautiful.
So these we didn't dovetail, but for those, well, all we have to do is take them and curl them up. So here we have the ends of our rolls, our ribbon tails. Just curl them up, and it creates kind of a unique look to it, having them curled. So you don't have to dovetail if you do that technique, but for everything else, I do recommend a dovetail. So we have 5 minutes left. Let's do one more quick bow. I see that we have almost 900 people still, so we might as well do one more. And for this bow, let's do our trusty candy cane. I seem to get messages about candy canes all the time, asking about the ribbon. And you guys can purchase this ribbon from, I believe Trendy Tree has that ribbon. It's missing the top half. I don't know where that went. But we're going to take another length of our wire, place it in our Bowdabra, and create one more bow, and then show you guys everything we've made. So at this point in time, please comment down below what bow we've made tonight is your personal favorite. We created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bows. Oh my God, how many bows did we make so far?
I don't know. I lost count.
I lost count too. But let's do one more using this. So for this one, what should we do? Let's do a traditional one, because I love traditional bows. They are one of the most used bows for me at Christmas time, and everybody loves traditional for the most part. I know some people like whimsical, so this is the best of both worlds with the polka dots. So we have our tails in place, again, however long you would like. Now what we're going to do is just place the end of ribbon into our Bowdabra. Again, we have a little bit of an overhang. Flip it over, create a loop. We're going to constantly do that until we have as many loops as we would like.
Pamela wants to know what kind of wire you use. It's Bowdabra wire.
Yep, Bowdabra wire right here.
And there it is.
There it is. So let's add a few more loops. We have 2 on either side now.
What kind of glue skillet do you use?
Any glue skillet will do. You know, I've always been the type of person to use something for its intended purpose, in a sense, not usually, because when I buy supply, you know what? I completely retract that statement. This was intended for hot glue use, but, you know, lots and lots and lots of people just use
Electric skillets.
Electric skillets. So, just a regular old electric skillet. But hopefully you can pick one up that has 4 legs instead of 3.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do 1 or 2 more loops, and this will be kind of a looser bow with less loops. Let's stop here, cut off our ribbon.
Copper bow, fall bow. They're all my favorites, Gay says.
Thank you, guys. Take it out of our Bowdabra, and this one has 5 loops on one side, 4 on the other, so it doesn't have to be the same amount of loops, you guys. You know, I can't stress enough that you're just going to have to, you know, I don't know how to put it into words. You're going to have to test things out to see what you like the best. So there's no rules when it comes to bow making. If you love it and it looks beautiful to you, that's all that matters. Because, I mean, there's bows that I make people don't like. There's colors that I choose that people don't like. You're never going to be able to please the world, but if you can please yourself with your bow, that's all that matters. Right, Dad?
Yep.
Fluff it out. Pull those loops apart. Pull your tails down. And there we go.
That's so pretty, too.
It is, isn't it? So also, you guys, Nick's exclusive wreath community is opened, and we're only open for the next couple of days. So if you're interested in that, you guys can check it out on my page. But I really like that bow. I think that's such a pretty color combo.
Very pretty.
Because it's not candy cane, you know? It's candy cane colors, but it's polka dots. So I kind of like to stray away from the candy cane every now and then, because it's kind of used very frequently. So I'd much rather work with polka dots. So we have this bow, traditional 1.5 inch. We have, I think this is called a 3-2-1 bow. I'm not sure of the names, you guys.
That's
really
my
don't
favorite
know.
for tonight.
But that's my favorite of the night, too. So we have this one with the little button loop in the middle. Again, comment down below your favorite. We have this one, which we could add more pip berries and more greenery, but honestly, you guys, it's whatever you like the best. If you want to add some, you know, other decorations, you certainly can, but I like the bow technique itself. So that's a funky bow. We also have a funky bow in our 5/8 inch ribbon. Is that how you say it, Dad?
Yeah, 5/8.
5/8 inch ribbon. And I like that one as well. That would be cool in a present or in a wine bottle. So if you're a friend that gives wine, you're a good friend, but also you can kind of spruce it up with an extra bow. We have 2 bows left, you guys, and then I'm done. I don't want to take too much of your time away. So this is a 2-ribbon bow, which again, you can use whatever color combo or size ribbon combo you would like. And lastly, we have this golden 1.5-inch traditional bow, which is another really pretty one. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I'm Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Bowdabra. I appreciate you guys giving me your time, and hopefully I inspired you to either create a bow or kind of practice making bows, because once you get the hang of it, I promise you will be addicted, and it's very hard to stop. So if you haven't made a bow yet, I would encourage you not to make a bow, because it is an addiction, and you will have so much fun. So thank you guys again. I love you all, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.